Thank you very much. We're here again on our Crystal Beam podcast, and today we hope to have a very session with none other than
Did you
the
say fairy?
godfather of Rivers
Did you
politics,
say
the man who has united different people from different party lines, irrespective of your party. You have that respect and regard for him because he stood firm. He's none other than Barrister Kingsley Wali. Some know him on Facebook as Malam Wali, and then some of us call him the Godfather. He's the Don. He's the Don of Rivers politics. Now we are going to just go straight on the issue. We're still talking about the Ohanaeze leadership, the recent election of the Ohanaeze Ndibo, the apex socio-cultural group of the Igbos worldwide, where we saw the emergence of Senator John Mbata. I think he's also his kit and kin, and he was elected as the president of Ohanaeze Ndibo, and that has caused a lot of storm, a lot of knocks. While some also say it doesn't really matter. So, but we're going to hear from Kingsley Wali today, and then let's see what his views are on the issue.
well? First and foremost, I've been trying to figure out all of those prefixes to my name and all of the very flowery things you said. I'm like asking myself, could it be me she was talking about?
Or some
But I
other
guess I heard Wally, so okay, I'm comfortable with the fact that I'm probably the one you're talking about.
good.
The other side is I'll start by saying my name is Wali. I'm from Umalogo village.
Okay.
And for me, when it comes to identity issues, that's where I rather want it. And worst case scenario, I can take it to the level of our kingdom. Every other thing there, I don't have control over in terms of the history, so I don't bother myself too much about that. The most distinguished Senator John Mbata is a family friend. Is from my local government. I'm sure that's what you said
Yeah.
when I normally was trying to be serious. You said my kids. Okay. But over and above every other thing is the fact that I would like us to focus on what the core issues are and what are the issues that one. This is 2025. In 2025, it's a bit embarrassing and shocking that Nigerians are still talking about tribe and
Ethnicity.
the ethnicity and all of those. And it's so difficult these days when you have conversations with people
Yeah.
because most people get into conversations with their minds all made up. So when you're talking to a wall. They're not listening to you. They're not hearing you. So basically talking to yourself. That is why people get to the point where they get very personal in conversation because they don't even know the basis for the conversation.
Wow.
So the only way they can be part of that conversation is to throw tantrums. Do
Okay.
you understand? And when you're doing that, these are not the issues. Like my
You
friend,
drift.
yes, like my friend Senator Magunabe would say, when you argue with him and somebody says, please get out what I say, that's not part of the conversation. Telling me to get out, I'm an idiot. It's not part of the conversation.
That's
Do
right.
you understand?
That's right.
But unfortunately, what we do most times is throw stones.
Okay.
Like street will say, when fight don't pass you, begin the pour sand. Uh, and I feel, like I said earlier on, uncomfortable that in an era people are talking about AI.
Okay.
People are talking about the downside is that people are talking about unemployment,
Okay.
poor education infrastructure, poor facilities. We're still talking about who comes from where. I joked to my friend Chris Feinborn yesterday. I said to him, he said, no, that the history of the people is documented. I said to him, just the way the Bible documented the fact that Adam and Eve were the first human beings, and then they gave birth to Cain and Abel. Cain killed Abel and ran to another town. I'm asking myself, okay. That's one. Mongo Park discovered
River
River
Niger.
Niger. Before he got there, there was nobody. And I said, hey, I've discovered the people. You understand? Marco Polo discovered India. What I'm trying to say is that people write history to suit their narrative.
That's right.
It just might not be correct. I'm sure somebody might be wondering, what is he talking about? We're talking about the Ohanaeze issue. And
Yeah.
he's talking about all of this. My point is this. My first comment when I saw that Senator Mbata had been elected president of Ohanaeze, my first reaction was this. I'm not aware. Maybe he was, but I'm not aware that he was a regular known member of Ohanaeze. So what informed throwing him up? The second thing that came to my mind was that, okay, I guess it's politics. I guess Oby and Faga votes are at play here. In the last elections, the way it went and all that, the vote concentration from those two local governments and the power, the play by the Igbo, those doing business and residing here, was a major factor in the election in 2023. So maybe somebody somewhere is saying, okay, why don't I just do this speech and then get the Igbos to know that I'm your friend. I'm the one who's going to deliver you. These are just speculations.
Speculations, yeah.
So, but I thought that Ohanaeze, being an organization that has a lot of respected people, should have been more strategic. Again, that is me saying.
Let me come in here. Yeah, they have more respected people, and then who are known members, who have been known members of Ohanaeze, like you said, Senator Mbata.
No, I'm not talking about the president itself. I'm talking about the institution of Ohanaeze. They should have been more strategic in allowing somebody from this part of the country to be president of Ohanaeze at this point in time. Because if you looked at the other other groups in the country, like what do you call it, Ariwa, Afenifere,
and all that,
the leadership selection process is not open to all. There's some kind of succession plan, and the people look at you, look at what traction they're going to gain, what the mileage the organization and the community we gain with that kind of a person. I'm not going to mention any name now, so that of course, so that nobody says that I'm biased about. I really don't care about anybody, whether Ohanaeze or whatever. Because at the end of the day, Ohanaeze, Afenifere, Ariwa, they don't add to the status of my bank account. They don't. They don't add to the kind of food I eat on the table. So I think we overplay the role of this organization because of politics.
Wow.
Which is why I said that they should have been more strategic, because by doing this, whether people admit it or not, Ohanaeze has dragged itself into the murky waters of River State politics.
And you don't think they can, that could also help to stabilize this murky water of River's politics?
How do you want to do that? Because some people are on this other side, some people are on this side, and minds are made up. And Oby, you've been here for almost all of your life. In River's politics, it's hardly determined most times by reason. But sorry, not to insult anybody, but more of interest. And there's no limits that people are willing to go to.
There's no limit
to score victory. So the lines are drawn. Anybody who is not with Governor Sim is against Ohanaeze.
Oh, really? That's deep.
Anybody, because it's seen as playing the governor, playing himself or playing his hand. You understand? Because if you noticed, when Senator Mbata was elected president of Ohanaeze, the governor congratulated him, the chief of staff was all over the whole place, even.
So that's enough to believe that the government apparatus was behind.
The speculation is that, and the way that faction of the state politics was celebrating Jones as against Amani Queryman. You understand? So I tend to understand more the sentiments of the ordinary man on the street. Whether it's right or wrong. I tend to understand. So when you act as if it doesn't matter, somebody will say, hello, what's this guy up to? For me, I think there are more pressing issues in this part of the world than presidency of Ohanaeze and Igbo, which should be something people are sitting back somewhere, engaging all sectors of society strategically, without getting so vociferous about where they are or where they are not. It has not really. Ohanaeze backed, what's his name? Ekweme. He didn't win. They backed Atiku at different times. He didn't win. Even the support P2B got from Igbo land.
Even Jonathan at some point.
He didn't win. Even the support P2B.
Yeah.
It would be unfair on history to say it was Ohanaeze or whatever.
That
People
means-
across the board were just upset with the system,
Okay.
and they give him that support. Okay, fine. Somehow it tallied with the Igbo aspiration for an Igbo presidency,
Okay.
which I thought that would have been what Ohanaeze would build on. That's me now speaking.
But did we really see them build on that?
By getting involved in River State politics, they got destroyed whatever
Gains.
consolidation they were supposed to make from that.
Exactly.
That is again me again, so I might be very wrong, but that's my understanding of it.
But don't you even think that with Senator John Mbata being, he's a politician, he's a businessman, and he's been very close to the governors from Odili to Celestine Omeya,
Even
to
close to all the
Amechi,
governors.
to Wike, and then now to Sim. Don't you think that's going to be an added advantage for whoever
Let's start from his ward
Okay.
14, I think.
Yeah.
Ward 14 of that one. On the basis of this, any party he throws his weight behind, on the basis of this,
On the basis of this, okay?
yes, don't stand a chance.
Doesn't stand
This
a
is my
chance.
local government, yes.
Doesn't stand a
It
chance.
doesn't stand a chance.
Even with his position as president of Ohanaeze,
It does not stand
and considering the fact that there are so many Igbos of the hinterland
You see,
who also reside here.
I've never been a politician really.
Okay.
So I try to be a little bit less sentimental about the way I look at these issues.
Okay.
You know, our politics, it's the voting habit is different from the normal way you can make your calculations and whatever.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
that's
And
why.
this is in contrast with
That's how it works.
the
Oby,
popular norm that says the Igbos are Republicans in nature. They don't have a king, like what they say, Igbo and all that. Now, what you're saying now is different from. So I don't really understand where. I'm trying to see how to connect it. The Ikwere belief, the Obiapo thing you're talking about, and then the Igbo thing, because the Igbos hardly do their kings, do their Ezes, tell them this is where we're going,
That's
and they go
exactly
there.
the point I'm making.
Okay.
Like in this part of the country or
Yeah.
this part of the world where I come from, the only way you can make an inroad if you're an outsider, it's if there's a division.
Okay.
You understand the community, then you're able to like you have these stranger elements have somebody they are leaning on
Okay.
who is going to like back them to
Okay.
express themselves fully.
Okay.
But if there is some agreement, whether PDP, APP, PDP, APDP, like in River State now, we don't even
We
know
don't-
which one is which.
I don't think it's only rivers, almost all the states.
No, our own is different.
Okay.
Our own is different. For
Okay.
example, let me ask you one question now. Honestly, will you answer me? Promise me you answer me.
Okay, you do it.
Which governor, which party does Wike belong to?
Wike. Well, I know Wike is PDP, but he also has
Why are
some
you saying
support
but?
from the
Why are you saying
APC.
but? Which party does the governor belong to?
The governor is APC with some APP
Why
affiliation
you
too.
not Martin now? You're supposed to say governor is this. Why are you saying?
But he has not also said he has left PDP.
Nobody is saying he has left anywhere.
Okay.
You understand? I'm not supposed to be the leader of APC in Rivers State, but
Yeah.
I'm sure he doesn't know where the whole APC meetings in Rivers State. Then the APC meetings, when they hold it, they take instructions from Bezowo. When PDP meetings are held, the governor doesn't know where they hold
Doesn't
their
even
meetings.
know where
So,
they hold. Yeah.
you know, so we just say the space is ripe for people to come from the
come
outside and do
then
whatever they want to
infiltrate and
do.
then do.
Now, for a second, imagine that we had a system where Governor Sim was on the same page with Wike, with Amechi, and
Okay.
all of that.
Yeah.
Dr. Dele
Yeah.
on the same page. And then, where are you going to come from? That's where it works.
So people are
So when you
on
look
the
at it from the
division.
point of what you said about the Republican nature of the Igbo man, it's a fact. It's a fact, and it's costing them a lot of problems, which I think that's what the average Ohanaeze people should be thinking about.
I think that Ikwere thing is actually very controversial.
You know why? It's not even important for you to do. It's
Okay.
not important at all. Why do I say that it's not important? Who gives a flying F where I come from? It doesn't make any sense to me. In 2025, it doesn't make any sense to me. So if people at that level, retired civil servants, retired professionals, cannot sit back and say this is not in the overall interest of the Igbo nation for us to get involved in this. Even if you are going to get somebody, you look for somebody who is more experienced, old, that you won't quarrel with the fact that this person will add value to what we are doing.
Okay.
I do not think that if I was in the position of Ohanaeze, I would allow this kind of thing to happen. I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. When in the Wali here, you've really, in fact, even the questions I needed to ask, I think you've answered most of them, but I think we'll just stop it here and then get back and then see why the Obako Ikwere, which is the socio-cultural organization of the Ikweres, is very much against the election of Senator John Mbata. We'll be right back. So we are back here. I just want our guest in the studio to talk about the Obako Ikwere group. I think they have been very much against the election of their son, Senator John Mbata. We may not want to really delve into the question of who is Igbo, who is not Igbo, but I think somehow along the line it will also reflect. Can we even hear from you to know why Obako Ikwere? Why do you think they are so much against this election?
I think it boils down to the same thing I tried to say earlier on. Any leader
Mm,
will not want to go against what the general feeling or sentiment or the people they are leading. You understand?
okay.
Against the run of that. So Obako has the responsibility to aggregate how do our people feel. You understand? And at this moment, the sentiment is what Obako is reflecting,
Okay.
which is the fact that Senator John Mbata went to Enugu. If he does not have a mantle of Obako, it is it is presumed that you're going on a project and you don't have the mandate of the people. Now, if the person that you're saying that, look, oh, me and you are neighbors, so I don't stay near you, but we'll communicate. I won't like right up to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem. So any person who really wants to smoothen that relationship will say, guy, come. How is it that we're no longer neighbors?
Okay.
You have no right to shut me up, to say, you are my neighbor, whether you like it or not. Remember, I talked about when you're talking to somebody and the person is deaf to what you're talking about, you're talking to the wall at that point
Yeah.
in time.
Yeah.
So Obako Ikwere as an institution was set up by the elite
Okay.
in the Ikwere land to represent the aspirations of the Ikwere people as defined by them,
As defined by them.
by the Ikwere people. Because don't forget that the people who set up Obako Ikwere were the high and mighty, culturally, financially, academically, of the Ikwere kingdom, ethnic nationality, like everybody wants to say, every community. I'm sure, what's that community on the Okigwe, what's the name of that village again?
Isukwatu.
It's a clan. It's an ethnic nationality.
But that's true.
It's the ethnic nationality.
At some point, we also said we are not Okigwe. And Okigwe is not Isukwatu.
And you are an ethnic nationality.
Exactly.
That was smart thing. So, on the most serious note, the point is that Oby Ndukwe was set up in 1963, I guess, thereabout. If Ohanaeze is truly interested in that integration that the average Igbo man wishes, the right body that should have been dealing with and talking with would have been Oby Ndukwe Corporation. Anything outside that, you will not get the cooperation of Oby Ndukwe.
Okay.
Oby Ndukwe. Since that is not being done, I believe that Oby Ndukwe has spoken right. And as the son of Ikwere land, I believe that Oby Ndukwe was right. Exactly.
Why do you think that Governor Sim Fubara?
I've told you earlier,
Okay.
It's Faga, not what vote.
Faga, for him or for the president?
Faga, not what votes.
For his own re-election or
Faga,
for...
not what votes don't have any direct bearing with the presidency of this country.
Okay.
How many votes do you have in Oby?
So it's basically for
it's an internal
the governorship.
It might not even be the governor himself. It might be somebody trying to, blackmail the governor into say, look, I have this, we can get this. Okay. You can have it.
And he has the buy-in into
and all of that. So it just might not, because Oby Ndukwe and Faga alone cannot make him second-term governor. No, you need to win the primaries first.
Okay.
You need to, because if that was the case, that all the Ikwere men would have been governors of Rivers State since 1979. But that's not the case. Politics is a lot deeper than what people do say. One thing I know for certain is the fact that in all of this, Ohanaeze lost out.
And not Mbata.
When you compare Senator John Mbata, his interests and his needs, it's infinitesimal to what the aspirations of the Igbo man is.
Okay.
As presented by Ohanaeze.
Okay.
You
But do you
understand?
see him?
But
Do you see him resigning or sustaining whatever?
no, it depends on what motivated. If you know Senator John Mbata very well, it's a smart person.
Okay.
It's not somebody who will call an idiot by any
No.
measure and
No.
all of that. So I'm
No.
sure he probably would have thought through all of this and said it was in my best interest for me to do what I want to do, even if he came to terms with the fact that it's probably not what people will accept. But he did his own calculations.
Okay.
He fitted his politics and decided to do it.
So now, on a final note, sir, how do you think this will affect the politics of 2027? This whole
At what level, please?
at the level of the state and even at the national, because we also saw President Tinubu congratulating Mbata.
What do you want to hear from me, really?
Anything, just anything.
The truth?
The truth and nothing but the truth.
The truth is that those things don't count, really. They don't count.
You don't think that he could help to muzzle the votes from the Igbo axis for the president?
They
Okay, so
patronize, and that's what got the Southeast to where it is today. When Gani Adams started disturbing the whole of Lagos,
mm,
the people gathered and said, "Guy, you can't. You have to put a stop to this." Despite the fact that he was professing, um, advocating Yoruba interests,
okay,
he was called to order, and then the whole thing was engineered in such a way that Yoruba people found vent in what he was doing, which is why several years after, Gani Adams is now the Arano Kakanfo of Oyo
yeah,
Kingdom.
that's right.
You won't understand, or sorry, you probably understand. Most people won't understand what that meant
Okay,
until you understand that the last three people who held that position, so, Akintola, let's look at Akintola, MK Abiola.
okay.
That's tell you
They kind of,
what that
yeah,
stool represents.
exactly.
And the people in the Oyo Empire, I'm sure with the agreement of most of Yoruba, decided to confer him with that responsibility, that title. It tells you how they have grown over the period, realized the role he played, and probably compensated him with that. And as well as sending signal, he said, "What general man no try also." So, in a nutshell,
Thank you for your time. In fact, it's more explosive, more educating,
I don't
and
know where the explosion came from.
again, I want to say something on the final note.
Oh, that's the second
Do
final
you
note.
think? Do you think that, like some persons say, some school of thought say, Wike actually lost out in the power play over this Ohanaeze leadership thing?
One, I'm not a politician. Two, I don't have a relationship with Wiki. That those two mean that I'm not in a position to know what his strategy was.
Okay.
But speaking as an outsider, what I will ask myself is this: if I was in Wiki's position, what will I gain? What will I lose? Speaking as me,
Okay. So there's really nothing to gain
what's he
on
going to gain? What's he going to lose?
it. There's no
And
better
from the
place. There's no
speculation,
better place to
no,
stop this
no,
to
sorry,
stop this
from the
interview.
speculations
Yeah.
I read,
Yeah.
once again, he was very smart.
How?
If it's true, what I heard, he was very smart. Um, because Mickey couldn't have asked for anything better if that was his interest
Okay.
than a home jury.
A hung jury. Wow.
So,
Thank you so much. Yeah. So this is the final question to our guest in the studio, and I think he's done justice to that. But we're going to put that. We are waiting for your comments. We want you to also give us your feedback on what you think and some of the responses. We'll definitely get back to him as we progress on this topic. Thank you, and God bless you.